Right now, someone is engineering your distraction, and they are winning. Every app, every notification, every autoplay video was deliberately designed to capture your focus and hold it indefinitely. Billions of dollars fund that effort every year, and the tools they have built are extraordinarily effective at what they do. But here is what nobody tells you. Focus is not a personality trait you either have or you do not. It is a biological system, and systems can be understood, mapped, and rebuilt from the ground up, even after years of accumulated damage. In this video, we go through every major focus killer one by one, what it is, why it is quietly destroying your cognitive output, and exactly what to do about it starting today. Stay until number 5, because that one specific technique alone can cut your deep work warm-up time in half, and it takes under 60 seconds to execute. Let's begin with the one that is already draining you right now. Even on the days when you genuinely believe you are being fully productive and on top of things. Attention residue. This happens when you switch tasks and your focus does not fully follow you into the next one. Research in cognitive science consistently shows that when you check your phone for even 30 seconds in the middle of real work, a fragment of your attention stays stuck on that interruption for the next 15 to 20 minutes afterward. Your brain is now running 2 parallel threads at once, mentally resolving the distraction and simultaneously re-engaging with the task in front of you. And neither thread runs at full capacity. This is exactly why you feel genuinely exhausted at the end of a day where you technically got a lot done. Your brain burned through its entire energy budget managing constant context switches rather than doing the deep, generative work that actually moves things forward. The fix is the single task seal. Close every tab that's unrelated to your current task. Put your phone in a separate room entirely, and treat that one objective as the only thing that exists for the duration of that block of time. Every switch costs more than you think, and when you protect that block completely, your output in it multiplies. But even if you remove every external distraction, there is still an internal enemy built into your brain's own reward circuitry that will pull you away from the work that matters most. Dopamine flooding. This is what happens when your brain becomes deeply addicted to novelty and begins treating slow, meaningful work as a genuine threat to its moment-to-moment comfort. Every scroll, every like, every incoming notification delivers a small burst of dopamine, and over time, these repeated micro-hits raise your baseline, making focused and significant work feel physically uncomfortable in a way that is genuinely difficult to push through without understanding why. Your brain begins to associate deep work with boredom, and boredom with a kind of low-grade pain, so it starts hunting reflexively for the next stimulation hit, rather than staying locked in on the task that actually matters to your future. If your brain has been conditioned to 15-second stimulation loops throughout the day, a 2-hour focused work session will register as a biological threat rather than a rational choice. The fix is the boredom practice. Sit for 10 minutes daily with zero input. No phone, no music, no background noise. You are deliberately resetting your dopamine sensitivity so that slow, high-value work becomes sustainable again, rather than something you have to fight yourself to start. Now that you understand the internal chemistry quietly sabotaging your output, let's look at how the clock itself is working against your brain, whether you choose to acknowledge it or not. Ultradian fatigue. This is what happens when you ignore your brain's natural 90-minute performance cycle and attempt to force output beyond its biological design limit. Human focus operates in distinct biological waves, roughly 90 minutes of high-output cognitive capacity, followed by a mandatory recovery window where the brain must genuinely reset before it can perform at that level again. Most people push straight through this window using caffeine, which only masks the underlying fatigue signal while the actual quality of their work quietly collapses beneath them without any obvious warning. If this is already shifting how you think about the way you work, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell. We cover performance science every week. The fix is the 90-20 protocol. 90 minutes of absolute screen-locked, single-task focus, followed by a 20-minute low-input recovery break. Walk, stretch, or look out a window, and no screens during the break, not even briefly. But even a perfect 90-minute block can be quietly sabotaged before it ever begins by the physical environment you are sitting in right now. Environmental conflict. This is what happens when your brain cannot clearly determine what your surroundings are asking it to do, making sustained, deep focus nearly impossible before you even write a single word. Your brain builds strong behavioral associations with physical locations. So if you regularly work from your bed or your living room couch, it is genuinely confused about whether it is supposed to be resting or concentrating. And that internal conflict creates invisible friction that makes simply starting feel 10 times harder than it should. Clutter and visual movement in your peripheral field also keep your brain's background threat detection system quietly activated throughout a session, consuming cognitive bandwidth you need entirely for your work. The fix is the focus anchor. Designate one physical location exclusively for deep work. Pair it with a consistent visual signal, a particular lamp switched on, a pair of headphones on the desk, one single tool on a completely clear surface. When that signal is consistently present at the start of work, your brain begins shifting into focus mode automatically because you have trained that environmental trigger to do the cognitive heavy lifting before your willpower ever has to engage. Now here is the one that almost nobody discusses, a technique so simple it sounds implausible, but it is rooted in how your nervous system actually initiates focused attention at a biological level. The warm-up problem. Most people sit down to work and spend the first 20 to 30 minutes mentally drifting before real focus arrives, and this is not a discipline failure. It is a neurological pattern with a direct physical fix. Your eyes and your brain are tightly coupled. Where your visual attention points at any moment, your cognitive attention follows without exception. Staring at one point for 60 seconds before work signals the brain to narrow focus, making deep work easier. This is called the 60-second stare. Pick a small point on your screen or a mark on the wall. Hold your gaze without letting it drift for 60 full seconds and repeat this before every single session. It works not because of mindset, but because it operates at the level of biology. You are not convincing yourself to focus. You are switching a physical system from one state to another. 2 focus killers remain, and one of them is almost certainly running silently in the background of your mind as you watch this right now. Open loops. Every unfinished task, every unmade decision, every message you have been delaying occupies an active slot in your working memory, whether you are consciously aware of it or not, and that overhead compounds silently throughout the day. This is the Zeigarnik effect. Your brain is hardwired to keep incomplete tasks live in the background, quietly competing with whatever you are trying to focus on in the foreground and draining the cognitive resources you need to go deep. The fix is the brain dump. Before every deep work session, spend 3 minutes writing every nagging thought, every open task, every unresolved question, and every pending decision onto a physical piece of paper. You are deliberately moving that data out of your mental RAM and into external storage. And in doing so, you are giving your brain explicit permission to release those threads for the duration of the session, so it stops quietly fighting for the mental real estate you need in order to go deep. The final focus killer is identity. If you consistently tell yourself that you have a short attention span, or that you are easily distracted, or that sustained focus has never been your strength, your brain will actively recruit every available interruption to confirm and protect that story about who you are. Stop identifying with the distraction. You are not a scattered person who occasionally tries to focus and fails. You are someone who goes deep, and every time you sit down to work with clear intention and a single objective, you are simply acting in alignment with the person you already are. Focus is not a talent distributed at birth. It is a system built from specific, learnable, biological mechanisms, and now you know every piece of it. Drop a comment telling me which focus killer hit you hardest, and subscribe if you want to keep winning the war for your own attention, one session at a time. Every session where you choose depth over distraction is a direct vote for the identity you are building, and those votes compound.